So welcome everyone. It's Matthew McKenzie here doing another video speaking to care activist Elsie. I've done quite a few videos in the past trying to raise awareness of what carers, well, I'm saying unpaid carers are trying to do in order to make a difference to those that are having challenges caring for someone, with mental health or other conditions. And here Elsie's, no exception. So what I'll do straight is I'm gonna introduce Elsie. I'm gonna ask her a couple of questions. Very excited. Known Elsie for many years now, to be honest. A very valued member of some of the care groups that I run, especially in regards to the mental health trust that covers Greenwich, Bexley, and Bromley. So Elsie, can you actually tell us a bit about yourself?
Yes, certainly. I'm 73 years old. I care for my mum and my son who had a serious mental illness. And, lots of experience, dealing with benefit systems, multidisciplinary teams, and everything else that these situations throw at you.
Mm. Brilliant. And what we'll do as well. And move on really to what support do you feel that you're going to be providing to carers or you want to provide to carers, especially in regards to your own lived experience of providing care yourself?
Well, what I'd like to do is offer up my experience, offer them advice, should they need it on how to claim for benefits, how to deal with the PIP reviews, how to deal with the multidisciplinary teams, how to deal with the housing associations, etc., etc., etc. And the forensic system, which unfortunately my son was part of, you have to. It's a lived experience, and only going through it teaches you how to deal with it.
Yeah, of course, and that's very, very important to the conversation. It shows that you as yourself, with your lived experience of providing unpaid care, had been through those challenges before, and I'm sure you've picked up a lot of information and knowledge and experience that will be very useful to others who are, again, struggling with the care role that they're trying to provide. But looking into those challenges, actually, what were the challenges of your role, and in regards, what do you think were those challenges that will be part of the care activist role you're perhaps going to take on?
Well, the hardest challenge was getting a PIP soft touch review in place, which I think took me 20 years because prior to that it's every 2 years. So no sooner had my son had one PIP review and gone into a state of meltdown, he was then looking at the other PIP review coming up. It took me a long time with a lot of help from Ellie Reeves, his MP and my MP, to get DWP to agree to it. What happened was is that my son every now and again sort of made a bid for freedom, as it were, and decided to do his PIP application again himself. I got news of it. I said, "Oh, I bet you haven't posted off all the supporting information that you need to send off." So in the end, I approached it separately from him, and I sent them a copy of a psychiatrist's report on him of the last 20 years of his life, detailing all his admissions and this, that, and the other. In other words, saying to DWP, what makes you think he's going to get better? Can we please have a light touch review every 10 years, which they agreed to, thank God.
Very important, and it just shows the challenges carers can face when chasing up information. It can really be difficult to get that appropriate information if you struggle to be involved in unpaid care. So the next challenge really, well, I won't say challenge, but the next question, and I disagree, would be some challenges is what future projects are you working to be aimed at unpaid carers? What was it do you plan to do in regards to your activism?
Well, what I'd like to do is I found that every time my son was on a locked ward, the diabetes care was not very good. So I'm hoping I would like to improve that, get more knowledge out there. I mean, I'm talking about registered mental health nurses telling me, oh, you can't take his insulin out with you for lunch because it needs to be kept in a fridge. My response was, well, how many people do you see walking down the road dragging a fridge behind them? Hello, it's not the penny news. It's not meant to be stored in a fridge, then out of the fridge, then in the fridge and out of the fridge because it alters the mechanism of the insulin. These are what scares me is these are trained NHS staff
Yeah.
and they don't even know how to do it properly. So there needs to be a lot of education in regards to diabetes care on these locked walls. So my son wasn't the only one that suffered from diabetes as a consequence of his antipsychotic medication because they shared the other horrifying thing is they share a glucose meter. They don't have their own individual meter. When they go around checking people's glucose levels, there's 1 meter on the wall. Now
Mm.
that's open to mistakes and errors happening because they could be reading somebody's reading that isn't the person that they're dealing with reading.
It's
So yeah,
very difficult, it really is.
it is difficult, but not
Well,
overcomable.
and that's a good positive attitude really to have. So the final question really is what advice would you want to offer those out in the field providing unpaid care for someone living with mental ill health or diabetes?
Well, if you have any concerns with your loved one, follow your gut instinct and don't give up. Keep on going until you're satisfied that they're getting the care and support that they really do need.
About engagement and being involved and knowing the carer's rights.
Correct.
And
Well, yes, yeah. I just go off a mum's instinct. A mum, a parent always knows, so just go for it. I mean, I keep thinking back of that young girl that was put into a locked ward, and she was only allowed her parents to visit her twice a week. I mean, how cruel is she? Eventually managed to kill herself, by the way. How cruel is that? I mean, it's beyond belief. I can't see how they arrive at these decisions in this day and age.
sorry to hear that, but it just goes how important it is to raise these issues because obviously one death like that is a tragedy and we can't allow such tragedies to keep happening. I love the health service and I'm sure there are many great people working there, but there are issues, there are challenges they have themselves, policies that get in the way of people. And I do hope that NHS can continue to engage with carers like yourself and the ones that are in my group or whatever. So that way, carers can learn about these issues before they end up repeating those mistakes in the future.
Correct. Well, I was labelled as a persistent, unreasonable complainer by Matthew Trainer of NHS Oxley's. Well, yes, I am persistent. I'm not unreasonable and I don't complain. I'm communicating my concerns,
Mm.
which they need to take note of to improve their services.
Definitely, and I think going forward, hopefully there'll be a chance for you to get engagement with Oxley's and perhaps speak at one of their events, conferences. But until then, if you can, I know you're known for your poetry. I was wondering if you have a poem that you can sort of use to sum up those experiences.
Well, I think I've turned my phone off now, Matthew, so I
Oh,
don't interfere. But have you got something your end that you can read out that I've written? Well, I'll tell you what I'll read out. I'll
oh,
read out what I had put into the Book of Remembrance
yeah,
at
that's okay.
Honour Oak Crematorium for my son, who was a Millwall season ticket holder. I did the whole thing, Charles John Evans, born, died, rest in peace. Um, it starts off, you'll always be our hero, although you're gone, we're not apart. Our love for you keeps going. It stays deep within our hearts. Football, food, and fishing were what it was all about. Blue is the colour. Come on, you lions, to shout.
Mm. And I can see that poem means so much to you because it's almost as a way of guiding you to make a difference in others' lives. And I can see it's still raw, but in a sense, that's somehow the situation in what drives us to what we do. Because I know full well there are others, that are caring for someone with, mental health and diabetes, and do need the injection of what a care activist. stands for and the difference they're trying to do. So I do hope you with your project Elsie it comes to fruition and professionals take on your words in order to make a difference in regards to service delivery.
Thank you, Matthew. Appreciate it.
I'd like to say for those watching, thanks again for watching another interview regarding care activists. I'd say stay tuned for my other blogs and videos. I'm sure to be doing more interviews in the future. Take care and goodbye.
Bye bye. Thank you, Matthew.